Hey guys, thank you so much and welcome to the Game Your Future podcast. I'm Daniel and I am joined with us today, special guest Tech Tony. Tony is a small business Google data engineer. Gosh, thank you so much for being here. Welcome, Tony. How are you?
Good, Daniel. Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Awesome. So, small business Google data engineer, what I guess does that mean, especially for those in small business that are curious?
So my agency primarily specializes in search engine marketing. So when somebody types in a question into Google, the ads you see at the very top of the search engine results, whether it's Google or Bing as well, my agency, we maintain and code those and collect the data for our clients so they can make better decisions down the road and how they acquire new leads. That's what we specialize in. Then, as a digital marketing company, if you look me up, we also offer website design, build and maintenance, SEO, social media, all the other little things sprinkled in. But my agency, what we're ranked for primarily is search engine marketing.
Right. And I heard that you were in the top 3% in North America for that, right? For
Yep.
the search engine optimization.
Specifically for search engine optimization, my agency, you could literally look it up in the Google files. There's a couple different places where me and my company are listed, and we're in the top 3% for marketing agencies in North America.
That's awesome. So it was fantastic that you have that result. So I guess a lot of people are curious when they hear those kind of numbers, like how, yeah, the very simple question, how did you get there? Right. And so to ask a maybe more pointed question, what was something along the way where it really started to tick up? Like what is that moment, do you think, where it clicked and then you started getting that growth?
Well, it only took what does my LinkedIn profile say? 9 years to get here, I should say. So before, I was just a freelancer, just kind of doing this on the side. I've always had a nerdy background. I do since 2008. I've been a private military contractor on the IT side of things for the Department of Defense. I've worked with a lot of private military contractors, been around the world. But I knew that I didn't want to do IT in the sense of things for small businesses. And in Google Ads, to effectively do them, you can actually write JavaScript and HTML coding into Google Ads to help manipulate that. So that's how that started. I got a really good mentor that aided me in learning Google Ads. And then Google themselves have these courses that you can take. Not a lot of people take them because they are boring as hell. They're boring. And we're talking like one course is 16 hours long. You can take that if you
Wow.
are especially if you're a younger person thinking about wanting to do digital marketing, working from home, freelancing, take them. At the end of it all, though, you have to go to a testing center to take a test from Google. It takes about 2 and some hours long. And once you're at the end of that test, you sit down with two Google employees, people from India. No offense, there, just is what it is. And they ask you a question. They're like, Mr. Lloyd, if if a company has 128 impressions and their click-through rate is 48% and their impression share is 32%, what is your action to correct this? And you would give them an answer, and they don't tell you nothing.
Oh, okay. So
And when I finished, I had to just wait 3 months to find out I even passed the dang test. And it
wow.
was funny. I passed it on the first go. My mentor was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you passed." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, the first time I took it, I failed, and after I took that test, I walked outside, I threw up."
Oh man.
It's that strange of a thing. And here's the thing: it's free. You just gotta be willing to take the dang thing and learn a lot about Google. And the testing has evolved. One of the things for partnership is continuing education. You have to log a minimum of 5 hours a month of continuing educational training to keep your partnership badge with them.
Mhm.
And a certain amount of your employees have to maintain an amount of educational training and have to be certified by Google as well. So that separates me from my other competitors. Anyone can run Google Ads. It's not that hard to do. It's doing it effectively is the problem. Anyone
Right.
can build a website. Anyone could YouTube, whatever. It's the point of effectively doing it. And that's what separates me from our other agencies having an understanding of the data.
That's fantastic because I know a lot of people because you could say, you could, talk the talk, right? And as opposed
Yeah.
to walk the walk, right? And by the similar token, right, everybody can say that they're an entrepreneur, right? You could sell lemonade at the side of the road when you were 5, and you're an
Ding,
entrepreneur,
ding. You're an
right?
entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur. Great. Are you successful? Can you do it as a for a living, right? It's a big difference. So having somebody that's actually, really successful at what they do is fantastic. And what I'd like to kind of jump to on the gaming side, right? Because all those that are listening, we love games, and I
Yeah.
hear that you're also a gamer yourself.
Yes, sir, I am. I actually go by the same gamer tag on Microsoft and on Steam is Tech Tony or HI Tech Tony. So if you guys want to look me up, hit me up. I'm currently playing I'm back and playing StarCraft right now on my
Nice.
PC. But
One or two.
what's funny is so Google Ads, you can write HTML coding in JavaScript.
Mm,
And I learned that from writing HTML code and JavaScript into video games like Quake. So you would get the little nifty. Technically, it would be you would cheat. Some people use it for cheating. I never did. I used it. One of my favorite things to do was when you would kill someone in Quake, they would explode into a whole bunch of bubbles, and then those bubbles would explode and kill people around them. And you had to do that. The only way you got to do that is by going into the game and writing your own code to make your enemies
that's
do that.
crazy. So does that mean you're kind of in like to the mod community, right, for some of these games too, or as far as like making your own
Back in
characters
high
or
school, I
skins?
was. Yeah, I was in the mod community back then. AOL chat forums. There was no Discord or Reddit. Oh, really? That's how
Back
old
in
I
the
am.
day.
Jeez
Yep.
Louise. It was AOL chat rooms, and
Yep.
you had to wait for the next End Gamer magazine to come out to see what was going on that month in the video game world. I remember when Resident Evil Nemesis came out. So many people were complaining about it that the End Gamer News, their next magazine, was a printed walkthrough for that game. And so there was no YouTube to be like, oh, how you get past this puzzle or whatnot. You're just talking with your friends and just kind of just
Yep.
hoping somebody figured it out.
I remember the number one question asked on was it the Nintendo hotline. There was a Nintendo hotline back in the day.
Yeah.
And the number one question asked was not even how to beat it, but just what happens at the end of Ninja Gaiden. Because
Oh,
no
yeah.
one
That's a
could beat it. It
series that
was
was
that
hard to
hard.
do.
Even if you knew what to do, the game was just so hard. So they're like, just tell
Yeah.
me how it ends, because there's no way I'm getting there. But and that's also before like emulators and save states and those kind of things where you can do it faster.
Yeah. And I was way into that community of just modding the games, just seeing what I can do. I was playing, like, seeing the Minecraft movies came out a couple weeks ago. I was playing Minecraft. I told a kid, he's like this little kid, my buddy's son. He was like, "What do you know about Minecraft?" And I'm like, "Bro, I was playing Minecraft before your dad lost his virginity. Like that's how old this game is. Like you,
Yeah, before you were born, I knew that.
yeah,
Yeah.
before we knew what girls were, us nerds, we were
Right.
playing Minecraft. I got a Pokemon permanently tattooed on my arm,
That's
so
awesome. Yeah, so very much a
it's
gamer.
nerd.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm
And
a
so
nerd.
it's awesome to hear like the success stories from, I'll call it, successful gamers, right? And so the people that enjoy games but do like really cool things. And what's interesting is this kind of, connection between kind of what we do, how we work at our jobs, and how we play games. Because one of the things that I thought was very interesting that you said is kind of a jump point was when you took the Google, certification test, and you're like, you didn't know if you passed or not.
Yep.
But it's just so interesting that that is just kind of how it is a lot of the times in life, where we just don't know, like, or we don't see the effects of our actions until
No.
later, right? There's this delay. Whereas
When
in
I saw that
gaming,
you could write scripts into Google Ads, it's literally the same damn thing as writing a script into a video game. You're just manipulating it for your advantage. I already knew how to do that, and I was already doing that before I even attempted to take the Google Ads certification tests.
yeah, and it's just fascinating that in games we get so much more instant feedback
Mm-hmm.
constantly and always, right? Because something happens in the game on screen, you're either punished or rewarded immediately, and
Yeah.
we change how we play the game to adapt to it. So I think as gamers we're highly adaptable. And then so I was kind of curious so how does that feel and what do you do, I guess, to be more flexible, adaptable, but in this kind of, I'll call it more gray area of life where you're like, I don't know what happened. Like I don't know if what my actions did caused anything.
Well, it's funny you say that. I was just talking to my admin about landing pages, and I'm not going to get into too much detail about it, but essentially, there's so much about Google Ads as marketers we don't know. And I listen to these professionals in my career, in my field, that know more than me. They've been doing this longer than me. They've been running Google ads. I know a guy that I talked to that he worked for one of the first, we call them the first five. And it was one of the first five companies that were allowed to run ads on Google before it was public facing. This was freaking years ago. And he was like, man, we still don't know certain aspects. So this is an industry where we can't, maybe get a little nerdy here. Only Siths deal in absolutes. We can't deal in absolutes in Google Ads. We have theories. And I was teaching that to my admin because we don't know things and we manipulate Google Ads to our advantage. I don't like using the word manipulate. It sounds like a black hat tactic. It's not. You can literally do this, and it's called scripting, like I said. But we manipulate to our client's advantage, and then we just kind of have to wait like at least 7 days to see what the data tells us. Unlike, it's not like a video game where you hit enter and you find out the thing crashes or not right there. We're going to wait for a while and see if what we did changed anything for the good or for the bad. We'll find out in 7 days. We'll see what happens.
Gosh,
And
yeah.
it's patience a lot is that word, because I still remember, like I said, back then there was no Google search, there was no overstack where I could just go online and someone else already wrote the skeleton of the code that I need. There was no chat GPT to help me write code. You were just trial and error. You have this one stupid comma in the wrong place and the whole game crashes.
Yes, I completely get that. For those that don't, yeah, I did computer science for a brief time. I didn't major in it, but I did computer science for I think 2 years in undergrad. Found out I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it because it was way too detailed for me because it was that same thing. If you had a comma or a semicolon in the wrong place, the whole thing crashes. So it's like, yeah, you could write the code in an hour, take you 2 days to debug it. It's
Yeah.
like, hmm,
I'm 100% self-taught, trial and error. Everything that I had done, I learned my entire life. I have no formal education. I graduated bottom 5% of my high school class. Like I got in trouble for compromising the school servers and installing Halo on there, so I could play with my buddies wherever they were. Type of stuff. That was me as a kid growing up, and I just happened. I would say lucky that this industry, because this Google Ads industry, there was no career day in Google Ads employee talking about Google. That
no,
didn't exist.
absolutely not. And it was fascinating too, is that like, because, and it wasn't like games were touted as anything either. It was, if you played a lot of games growing up, it was like, okay, well, what do you like, go get a real job? Like, what are you actually going to do?
Yeah, a
Which
buddy
I
of
was
mine,
like,
straight out of high school, he just locked himself in his room for 4 months, designed this cruddy wonky game, and then got a job. I forget who. I think he got a job at Capcom, making 75,000 a year at 19 years old, just because he did it himself. My nephew, I'm so proud of him. He did something similar, and he works for Konami right now.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
like
super
Hideo
cool.
Kojima's in the house, baby. Like here we
Yeah.
are. I'm like, what do we do for next Metal Gear Solid, buddy? He's like, I can't talk about this, Uncle.
That's awesome. And so it's just, yeah, so I would say that was to me a little frustrating growing up because it's like, it wasn't lauded as anything like worthwhile, I guess.
No, we're
But there was,
misunderstood.
right, but there was so much like in career, like in development, right? Whether it is, and gaming touches so many aspects of just careers, where it's not just simply coding, which I mean, sure, that's part of it, but you got to have everything from artists to music, like sound design, user
Yeah.
interface. Like there's so much with games that I guess growing up they didn't teach you. Like career day it wasn't like, oh, if you're an artist you could also design for video games or something like that. Like where were the
Well,
people?
a huge thing for me. This might resonate with some of your listeners. We didn't fit the mold. I didn't fit the mold. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up until the high school football team found out I could hack their grades and make them all pass. But that was something different. So when I would come home from school, I would log into my Xbox and I was instantly connected to a flurry of people that had the same interests as me, and we could sit down, have conversations, we would talk, and that really helped me as a kid. That was my social life. I mean, my dad, he was in the military, so he taught me how to hike, how to run, how to jump, how to swim, camp, track, hunt, all those things. So I got a good mix of both. But when it came down to having my friends, I would say a lot of them were online. Yeah, I would connect, and we would have our chat rooms, and playing good old Call of Duty or whatnot. That was my connection to people. That's how I got out. I'm so glad my dad let me do it. And being a single father myself, I'm letting my kid do the same thing. I don't, I want him to have his friends at school. Of course, no parent wants to see their kid alone at school, but you're not alone as a gamer. You're instantly connected to a world of people with your same interests. And
That's
I hope more parents understand that.
right. And that's what it, message to all the parents listening to, because basically the short version is gaming is valuable, right? Whether it's the connections they make or it's the skills they develop, right? Gaming is valuable. Your gaming matters. So
Yeah,
let your kids play games.
like everything, it's a double-edged sword. It is the internet. There are some bad things and good things out there, but proper guidance from the parents, some educational training from the parents' side, and being an adult gamer now, I'm so happy that yeah, yesterday we were traveling and my son was on his iPad watching the old school Pokemon stuff. I made a proud dad moment. I'm happy for him doing that stuff. I can share that with my kid now. And our children are growing up in an AI video game world. It is what it is. Let them play with it.
I love that. Yeah. So let your kids play games. It is
Yeah.
really powerful because it's not only just like I said, the skills, the community. It's really that, there's the scientific research behind it too, which I think is fascinating. Again, which we didn't have as much of the scientific data growing up, but just
No.
like the sense of play, right? Like, having that level of, whether it's, the creativity and the freedom to kind of do what you want and to have fun. And there's so much research that shows that just the power of play, regardless if it's video games or however they have fun, but video games is just such a key, like, just a tool to really help that and facilitate that and facilitate even just the creativity, right? If
Hmm.
you want to give people you want to give kids like a tool to like let their creativity run wild, play Minecraft. Right?
Yes,
There's so
definitely.
much you can
And
do with that.
now we're talking about this in the time right now. It's funny we say it because like there's this whole video game lawsuit currently flowing around on the internet right now. I don't know if you've seen the ads. I've seen that. You're kid addicted to video games. Like, it's just a lawyer trying to make a buck off of anything. And
Yeah.
I get it. There are good and there are bad things. It's the internet. There's a double-edged sword. I dare say it's more than just a double-edged sword. But if it wasn't for the internet and for video games, I don't know where I would be professionally, personally, in any direction at all. But like I said, this job that I now have didn't exist during career day. And even in my own industry, my business, my biz partner and I, we play video games. We play a lot of team-based video games together. Because they're team-based. We gotta work together. We run an international marketing company with clients in 14 different countries, 3 different languages. And we were like, let's play some video games together for team building exercises. And it works, it helps. I encourage my employees to play video games together.
That's awesome. Because yeah, it really is that there's so many games for so many different aspects of it, right? If you want to do teamwork is a great one, like those multiplayer, just kind of co-op games where you can just, hang out together and having fun and really just being able to work as a team. You're just like running around shooting whatever, but you're working together. And then that
Hmm.
builds that camaraderie that you can bring out of the game and into, like you said, into your company, into your business. So I love that as an example of just showing how powerful gaming can be outside of the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So for those that are interested too in the digital marketing space, and so hearing that, say they're like, okay, I'm a gamer, I want to get into this space too. And I guess the first question is like, how would you even get started, right? Like, maybe we're super excited. Like, tell me about digital marketing. What do I even do, or how do I jump in?
Well, I would definitely you go to what's called the Google Skills Shop, and that's where a lot of the free educational training when it comes to Google Ads, even IT certifications, digital marketing, graphic artwork, AI based stuff. The mass majority of it is free or exorbitantly affordable. Like I
Hmm.
think there is a G Suite certification. It's like $1,000, and I know a young lady. She's charging like $80 an hour for G Suite certifications because just like everything else, you dial 1-800 number. It's so hard to get hold of somebody. So now she offers that service to maintain your professional assets for your company.
Wow.
These programs are cheap. There's another company that Google partners with called Corsa, a little bit more. They're not as many free stuff. They do have recognized certifications, but some of these courses that Google offers can get you career ready in 4 to 8 months. It's just up to how much you're willing to dedicate of your time. And if you are a veteran listening to this that plays video games and been looking for a career change, Google offers some huge incentives and even more perks if you are either active or retired military veteran to get you job ready and transfer you into the civilian world. So you want to look up Skillshop, and you can take the digital marketing courses or IT courses, cybersecurity courses, all sorts of things that allow you to have a work from home lifestyle that can. And once again, this is dependent upon how much you're willing to dedicate yourself. Sit down and have some discipline, take the lessons. 4 to 8 months, point me towards a college education that can have you job ready in 4 to 8 months in this challenging career. They don't exist. So they're way cheaper than a college education. College isn't for
Nice.
everybody.
Right, and completely understand. College is not for everybody. It's what they teach you, and it's the cost, and absolutely because trying to get that specific, specialized education, right? I think that's what's hard, and that's what college does. I say people can debate whether it gives you like a good broad base of like this is how I can be a functional professional human being out in the world. But if you're looking for specialized knowledge, depends on the college, depends on the courses you do, but usually not as like laser focused as kind of what you're describing here is like getting very specialized course, very specialized knowledge to be able to help you.
I'll tell you the exact course you'll probably want to take. There's a marketer called, his name is Isaac Radunsky. He runs his own marketing agency up in New York. I can't remember the name of the agency off the top of my head. He's a great digital marketer. Look him up on Udemy. He's got some great courses. If you're like, hey, I want to do digital marketing, I want to run Google Ads, and you're going to do it the right way, because anyone can run like that. Anyone can run Google Ads. It's not hard. Doing it the right way. Go to udemy.com. I think his course is like $150. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. Udemy runs sales all the time. Just go look at it
Yeah.
and buy those courses. LinkedIn, I think you have to pay for LinkedIn to get the LinkedIn Learning, but it's like $90, $100 a month to get lessons that are licensed and recognized in these industries. So if you're a young kid or somebody older, whatever, that's willing to put in the effort to learn it, because I tell you what, the Google courses they're boring as hell. It's a lot of reading,
Yeah.
and a lot of just like watching these boring ass videos, and sometimes a guy from India that you can't understand what the hell he's saying, but you're just like, I got to pass this stupid course. And there are tests involved.
Mhm.
You will be quizzed and tested throughout these courses. But if you're willing to sit down and educate yourself on them, yeah, you can have a career. Like I said, I got started with Isaac Radunsky. I took his Udemy course online. I got a chance with a local small business who's still a client of mine to this day. I know what the hell I was doing, and he handed me his Google Ads account. And I was like, "Oh, here we go."
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So for those that, of course, playing games, we like to get the whether it's the strategy guide or the cheat code or just just trying to get the edge as far as like how can we get through it and get to what our result is faster. So what would you say? So somebody's like, okay, well, I'm going to go through these courses. I'm going to like it's going to suck. I'm going to like take the time to sit down and do this. But then when I get out and actually practice it, what do I need to know? Like what is something like, to ask what is maybe like the biggest mistake that you see some of these other agencies doing that they're like, if you could avoid one thing, what would it be?
It's not one thing. I would say two things.
Okay.
One thing is doing wrong by these agencies. You can make a lot of money in digital marketing. I'm debt free. My company's debt free. Um, I'm a single dad to a child with special needs. We live a comfortable life. It's not to get caught up in the money. Understand that these businesses are giving you money in return to be able to make payroll. Because if they don't get sales and clients, too many clients can hurt a business just as bad as not enough clients. And it's having an understanding of walking into as a freelancer or as a business owner, if you having, because I started as a freelancer and I own an agency. It's having an understanding that these businesses are going to trust you with a certain amount of money that they're hoping to get a return on their investment in. And you need to keep that in your mind. That's because I was sitting at a coffee shop and I heard a kid behind me, and he was a kid younger than me. He's like, I'm going to go into digital marketing. It's just easy money. I went,
Mm.
oh, yes, you are correct. But there are serious real world consequences for handling a company's online assets incorrectly. And so it's that go in mind by don't get caught up in the money. And I had a good mentor that kept me on that path. He's like, you need to do right by your clients and make sure they get leads. And so I've had that hard conversation with some businesses where I'm like, what we're doing isn't working. We got to adjust our game plan or whatnot. Or like I had another client of mine and work on your people skills. I'm going to be taking a sales course and a speech course because I come off as an asshole sometimes. It is what it is. And so to better myself, to be able to better talk to people, because I had a hard conversation with a client of mine where I had to pull them aside and be like, hey, man, you're getting leads, but your secretary is really bad at selling your business. And this is why he wasn't he didn't see any new leads on the book. And, as a marketer, you're going to be the first person they blame because the advertising isn't working. You're the first one to get blamed. And so as a marketer, I had to take a step back, look at the data, and I was like, oh, I see the problem here. And have that hard conversation was with my client, like, hey, man, nothing against your employee, but she's not answering the phone correctly. And we listened to these phone calls and these phone recordings, and he was like, I see the issue. So now she's still there, but he's moved to the position where he's back to taking the phone calls and making the sales for his company. So there's just things like that. You're going to have people skills in this industry and have an understanding that no matter how much money you're making off of this, what you do in digital marketing on Google Ads is going to be the difference between that person being able to keep payroll or have to let go people next month.
Wow, that's powerful. And really that sounds like that's the difference between the top 3% in optimization versus the bottom 97,
Yes.
right? So good advice for everybody listening. So I love that. So thank you so much for that. So gosh, so as we kind of wind down for this particular podcast, did want to ask, so besides the one thing to avoid, what would be the one recommendation so that you would have? So we heard, so going through the kind of the Google level of training, I think is
Mm-hmm.
powerful. And we talk about the like the pitfall to avoid is, actually caring, what the customer, what the client's needs are, and actually, putting their needs. It's not just make a quick buck. Is there anything else that you would say as a recommendation to say, like, do X and you will be in this top 3%?
Get ready for a lot of continued educational training. I spend about myself a minimum 30 minutes a day. It might be watching a YouTube video. It might be or something simple as just surfing Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it right now, to see what the latest news is. If you're going to go into digital marketing specifically, get ready for Google to do stuff and say nothing. Because so many times are we working in these accounts and we're like, hey, they added a new button or they took away a feature that we don't have access to anymore, things like that. Get ready for a lot of continuous education. Don't get comfortable because that's when you plateau.
Mm.
Uh, Continually educate yourself, especially right now, how fast things are moving. Our industry moves quickly, and it's going to get very frustrating. Take a step back, breathe, study. Take a step back, breathe, study, because it is what it is. Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome to the internet. And I think that's something really powerful, I think, for gamers the good news, I think, behind all this is that gamers being really good problem solvers, right? Because we do it for fun.
Oh yeah,
I
if you're
think being that,
dedicated to a game,
yeah,
you're spending hours in it. And you're keeping up with the latest and greatest releases. Same
yeah.
thing with digital marketing. You got to keep up with it.
So that's what, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for drawing that parallel because that's how I feel like, we look at something where like, oh, it's changing, it's crazy, it's always going to be ridiculous. But you do this in games.
Mm-hmm.
So just use it. So you already have the skill set. You just have to like kind of change your perspective just slightly, just to say, oh, I can do this outside the game as well.
The dopamine effect you get from a game versus Google Ads. The Google Ads dopamine effect's a little slower to get there, but you'll get it. Just like when you get playing a level on a game.
Perfect. Oh, that's so fantastic. Gosh, so Tony, this has been fantastic, and thank you for being a guest on the show. And wanted to ask, so where can we find more about you and about your agency if we wanted to look you up?
Well, you can Google me, Tec Tony, no H, because I thought it was cool when I was branding myself and I was like SEO just stuck. So it's TecTony, and that's pretty much my handle across the internet and across video game platforms on Sony, Microsoft, and on Steam is Tec Tony as well. If you want to hop on, join me in playing Warhammer, Resident Evil, StarCraft. We don't have to talk digital marketing. We just hang out. If you have questions, if you're someone younger and you don't know what to do, feel free to hit me up, man.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Tony. And
Or
one
you look,
final,
or you look at my company, Pathfinder Digital Marketing.
there you go.
When
Perfect. Yeah, so you do that company thing too.
yeah,
So one final question for us today. So before we close down, and I do ask everyone, what is your favorite video game?
Resident Evil,
Ooh, good one. Specific
Resident Evil
number or the
franchise. I
franchise?
am a Resident Evil nerd. The only thing I don't own right now that I'm currently hunting down is the Marvel comic book that they created for Resident Evil. But I own all the books. I own damn near every game that was made, including the ones for Game Boy. So it would be Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, and then the Final Fantasy franchises. I like good
Oh,
storylines.
very good. I love that.
But
Is there a
if
specific
I'm
Resident
playing,
Evil?
right, I am actually on like my sixth playthrough of Resident Evil 4.
Good old Resident Evil 4.
I
That's
love
that
that
one's hard to
game.
beat for sure.
But if I'm playing multiplayer right now, I'm playing Battlefield.
Got it. Very good. Well, guys, thank you so much, Tony. This has been awesome. And guys, thank you for listening in. And if you want to learn more about how you can use that gaming skills to get ahead in your careers and your business, definitely check out my website as well, dragonmorexp.com. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for having me, Daniel.
Absolutely.